How can you find the best search keywords per topic on YouTube? Most keywords are guessing which keywords to use, and that's why they never get traction. But there's a method that not only positions your videos ranking at the top, but it positions you as the thought leader in your space. In this episode, you'll discover how to uncover the most valuable search topics in your niche. You'll know exactly which question to build each video around. By the end of this episode, you'll know how to dominate YouTube's search and be the go-to expert in your space. Let's dive right in. If there's one expertise that I have, it's definitely around YouTube keyword research. I produce over 60 different YouTube channels. So we're going to come at this from a variety of different angles so that you can understand it completely. Do I only need one keyword per video? So the quick answer is yes, but I want to make sure that you understand it the same way that I do, because a keyword can be a single word, it can be a 10-word question, and that 10-word question is a keyword. So when you do it right, you're going to find a really long specific question that I call that keyword or keyword phrase. And each episode is going to have one keyword phrase that you want it to rank for. Now that's the opposite of what most people teach. A lot of people will say, well, yeah, pick this keyword, that keyword, put those in your tags, and they're talking about a 1, 2, or 3 word phrase. So they're adding a group of these short phrases or words in your tags field. That's actually not going to do anything for your video. That stopped working like 15 years ago on YouTube. And to me, it's funny that people are still doing that and that other YouTube experts are still teaching that. It just does nothing. Is the best keyword the one with the most searches? Now this is counterintuitive, but it's actually the worst. You want to go after phrases that have low search volume because you know that you can dominate those first. Now, if you find a really specific phrase that has high search volume, that will be valuable for you down the road, but the chances of you ranking for that quickly are very, very low. So you want to go after the specific phrases that have low search volume, start to dominate those, start to rank at the top of YouTube for each one of those, and as you get more and more momentum, you can go after those with higher volume. My goal for you is not just stats or numbers or having a video here or there rank. I want you to dominate your entire space. So what you have expertise in, when people go to YouTube and they're asking questions, I want you to show up every single time at the top when it's your subject matter. And the method that I teach, this approach of starting with the low-hanging fruit, right? Going after these questions that have lower search volume, that is the path that will get you to domination. Should I cover everything about a topic in one video? Yes and no, okay? So the more specific the question is, the more that the topic is narrowed down, right? Hopefully, right? The more words that they put in this question means the more specific it is. They've given you more details and more nuances to your question because you have a lot of expertise. You could write many, many books on your subject matter. Okay, so you don't need to deliver your whole book, but it's like if somebody were to ask you a really, really specific question and you could point to the page in your book that answers that question the best, then in this episode, you're going to deliver that entire page. So I was doing research one time in the area of nutrition and I found a fun topic. It's how to carry nutrition during a marathon. So just those words during a marathon to the subject of nutrition. And I guess, how do you carry nutrition? That could be a variety of things, but that's even more specific. But then during a marathon, if that were my expertise, I could talk for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes really specifically about that topic. I'm going to share with them every little pointer that I have, everything that I do when I run a marathon. In my experience, I found that the more specific the question, the more valuable your answer is. And so when people find these videos, it's more directly relating to them exactly. You know, if that marathon runner was just searching and they found a general video about nutrition or something, it's not going to be that valuable. But if they find a video that exactly matches their question, they're going to watch your video all the way to the end. Once I found one good keyword, am I done? Yes and no. You're done for that episode, but you want to keep doing keyword research so that you can find lots of different topics. You're going to find that there are hundreds and hundreds of questions that your target audience is asking, and so you can attract these hundreds and hundreds of people to find you on YouTube. How do I find keywords around one topic without repeating myself? So to answer that, I want to show you a specific example. You'll see that there's a variety of questions on the screen here. All these questions are about becoming a real estate investor. Let me show you how I found these. So the tool that I use is the Keyword Magic tool. It's on this website called SEMrush. You can get a 2-week free trial. I'm an affiliate for them. So you can go to herokeywordtool.com and you can play around with this exact tool. When you get here, you'll see a big list of tools over on the side. Find the Keyword Magic tool. So I'm going to zoom in here. If I type in real estate investor, I'm going to turn on the questions button and I'm looking for questions that are 8 words or longer. So I'm going to turn my word count up to 8. That's how I found these. Now, they're all going to have a lot of overlap, but when you add more words to the questions, you find what's unique from one question to the next. So this one is specifically talking about becoming an investor when somebody has no money. So that's going to be the focus of that. And you can talk in that entire episode about that aspect, how to become an investor when you have no money. What do you do? This one says how to find investors in your area. So you're going to be talking about when people are in a local area, what do they do around their neighborhood or their city, or what resources are available. This one is how to find investors for real estate flipping. Okay, so now it's specific to that real estate strategy. That's going to be the focus of that episode. This next one is finding investors for commercial real estate. Again, it's a complete different real estate strategy. They're complete different investors, so that's going to be a very unique episode. So that's actually a huge advantage of having longer questions being the title of your video, is it really narrows down the topic more and more and divides up all these different episodes. So doing it this way, you're never going to run out of things to talk about. Now, I am going to share another way that you can avoid being repetitive, but I also want to say repetition isn't bad. People that do find your videos and are learning it from you, they need to hear things a few times for it to really sink in. And most people that are finding your videos through search have never heard of you before. So even if you have been repetitive in some of your episodes, they're not going to watch every single one of those. But with that said, here's another way that you can avoid being repetitive. If you've got a list of a whole bunch of videos, let's say 20 different questions you want to answer, what is the core thing that you want every one of these people to know? What's the training or the subject or the principles that you want to teach to all of them? What you can do is make one video with that core content. You can have that be a core video, and then you can film the other 20 videos that focus on the unique part of it. And at the end of that video, you can recommend they go watch your core video. That way, they're getting your core content. You're not having to be repetitive, and every episode is unique and really specific to their question. What's the difference between a topic and a keyword? The topics are the things that we come up with in our head, right? We do a topic brainstorm where we ask others for ideas. What are some things that I could talk about? What are questions that you might have for me? Those are just the topics. The keyword is when we do the keyword research on those topics. We put those topics into the tool and we find what questions have consistent search volume every month. So don't be confused if somebody sends you a text message with a question or they comment in one of your videos. Don't make that the title of your video. We don't know if that's a good keyword or not, but that's a good topic that we can then do research on and find the really specific questions. A lot of times somebody might make a comment or we might have an idea, but then we do keyword research and that one idea can turn into a dozen new episodes. Can I rank for multiple keywords with one video? Yes and no. So earlier I said that each episode should have one focus, one long keyword phrase. When we post that video to YouTube, within a day or two, your video should rank at the top of YouTube for that very specific question. Now, if that question, say it gets an average of 20 searches per month, that's not a huge number of views, but over the next month, you should get 20 views from search. In my experience, I found that 2-month period is the time that the YouTube algorithm takes to really understand who the audience is for your video. So when you get into month 3, you're going to get those 20 views again, but YouTube will also send you more views from search for questions that are similar. So in the beginning, that video will rank for that one very specific question, but typically in month 3 and beyond, it will start ranking for more. How do I know which keyword to build a video around if there are 5 good ones? The quick answer to this one is I recommend making 5 different episodes. Or if those 5 questions are pretty much asking the exact same question, just pick the one that's your favorite. Should I put these keywords in my title, description, and tags? The title, absolutely, right? If we're going to find a really long question, that question is your title. A lot of people, when they're talking about putting keywords in your title, they're thinking of 1 word or 2 words and putting those words or phrases into your title somehow. But our method of keyword research, which is way more focused and specific, we find these long specific questions. That question is the title. Do you need to put that question in your description or in your tags? The answer is actually no, and this is going to be surprising, but you can have videos that will rank at the top of YouTube even if your description's blank and you leave the tag field blank. YouTube doesn't use tags anymore. YouTube doesn't need your description to know what your video's about. YouTube does an automatic transcription. It actually has AI tools that will analyze the visuals of your video. It knows what your video's about. It knows every word that you say. So it's important to say that question in your video. It's very easy to do it at the beginning. You let people know this is what we're talking about. And then naturally, throughout the course of the video, you're answering that question. And so you're saying all the right words. And more than just sticking in keywords here and there, you're actually talking with authority on that subject matter, and YouTube will know that. It'll analyze your words, it'll analyze your entire video, and it knows what your video is about. That's how SEO works today. So you can't take an older video and do SEO to it. That just doesn't work. Doing keywords or whatever you think you're going to do. SEO today means you do the research. You find what is your target audience searching for. You create this strategy on what people are searching for and how you're going to dominate, and then you start creating that strategic content and putting that content on YouTube. Now, we've covered a lot, and there is a lot more to learn, but I've got some very good news. I've created an entire course and I've put it right here on YouTube. So this will be a longer video, and I encourage you to watch the whole thing. If your goal is to really leverage YouTube for lead generation, and you want to do that by having your videos show up at the top of YouTube search, like imagine having hundreds and hundreds of videos ranking at the top of YouTube search. So you're the go-to authority in your space. That's what I teach in this course. So go watch it now. It's the full YouTube SEO course.